Thank you, Chuong, for being here with your wonderful family. And this really is a family event. I've already met friends of your mom and dad and your neighbors, and it's always wonderful when we have a new candidate who brings a new circle of people in and brings people who've also already been involved. And I know so many of David Ramadan's friends are already working with you. I got to meet you through David and was thrilled to be able to sit down and visit with you. So it's just wonderful to see so many new people here, and for Chuong to be bringing so many new ideas and people to the table. This is just a wonderful example of living the American dream. And come on up here, because I'm going to brag on you. Just like Jackson said, he's not going to be bragging on himself, so I'm going to brag on him. You know, when I worked for Congressman Wolf, we back in the 90s, we had so many Vietnamese families who had, come into the district, and they were helping, get settled here, and obviously fleeing, a communist regime, and all of the things that we all know that went on there, and how so many people came here and lived that American dream. And that's why so many of us are involved and care about this. And that's when Chuong told me the story of his parents and his family and how they worked so hard. They came here as professionals and had to start all over, and everything they did, and all the values that they instilled in all of their children, who are all successful. You have how many brothers and sisters? Three brothers and sisters who are all Harvard lawyer, all these successful people. His wife is a doctor. This is a hugely successful family that has come here in one generation and just lived the American dream and had all of this great success. And that's what we want to keep alive for this country. And that's the story that he embodies and that he can tell to everybody and go out to any community and tell that. And that's what's so important. I mean, we are living in a very diverse community, and we're living in 50-50 districts. And when you can go out like Chuong can and talk to everybody and tell that story, and tell the story of the adversity that his parents had to endure and to get here to this country and to be able to raise their children, I find it so inspiring, and I so appreciate your leadership and that you're here and everything that you've inspired your son to do, that he has been a teacher, and then he went back to school and he was a lawyer, and not just a good lawyer, but he was selected to work on the Supreme Court as a clerk. That doesn't happen to everybody. In the state Supreme, that is a very selective group of lawyers, and it's always the finest. And then he worked as a crime-fighting prosecutor here in Loudoun County, and well, not here, we're in Fairfax right now, but you also have different, but in our communities, he was fighting crime, working with everybody. And now he is practicing law on his own. He's helping with his wife, because we know the challenges that a medical practice face today, so I know he's also helping with that, and that's something that on the state level we can do a lot. We on the federal level are obviously trying to help. So I'm so excited when we can have a candidate like this, who is such a high-quality candidate that cares so passionately about the American dream, that cares about young people and wants to teach them and bring them up and make sure that they have every opportunity that he and his brothers and sisters and his family had, and that he can tell that in such a personally inspiring way. So I am really honored, and I know all my colleagues here are, and I'm so glad, Jackson Miller, who doesn't brag about himself either, so Jackson and Jim, you guys need to both come up here so I can brag on you a little bit. I was privileged to work for 5 years with these wonderful gentlemen, and we have the finest state legislature, I think, in the country. Mr. Jefferson's house, that we are privileged, that I was privileged to work in for 5 years with these guys. Jackson is our, I don't think he mentioned that he's our majority whip. And in the State House, we have 67 out of 100 are Republicans. And it is a great, wonderful group that really works together and works together well. Everybody has a voice, everybody comes together, we get things right, we don't always all agree on everything, but we're able to always move the ball forward. And it's because of leadership like Jackson's, and I know when I was running, Jim and I were running together, Jackson was out there helping every day. He showed us how he, having served his community as a policeman, and he's also in the real estate industry, has a young family, how he'd be out there every day working so hard because he cared passionately about keeping this American dream alive, keeping our community safe. So we have a prosecutor and you have the police. So you have people down there who've served your community on these great local levels, and now they can go with that experience and get the laws right. I mean, I think that's really exciting, and that's what we have in our party. And then Jim Lemanian is such a great business leader and community leader. My husband had met Jim and his family before I even met him as a candidate, because he had star children who were at my husband's school, and they just were, you know, it's a fabulous family that were so engaged in their school. So he's on the education committee. He's a leader on that committee. And then he's been a leader on transportation. I turn to these guys on lots of things, but Jim is so great on transportation. Now I have another partner with Chuong in there working with him. So it is really exciting to have, that you have leaders like this, and that Chuong will be able to come in with his experience, with his great inspiring story and know-how, and hit the ground running and join this fabulous team. I mean, I really miss working with these guys, and how wonderful they are, what a wonderful job they do. But please know what great work they do, and what a great place you are going to be sending Chuong to do all this great work for you. And that Stephen Hollingshead, who's also running for Senate, we need him there too. He's going to be there. But please go back and spread the message on Facebook. So make sure if you're not on Facebook, now's the time to sign up and get a Facebook page, because you all have spheres of influence, and you need to make sure you are telling people about this fabulous candidate and all these wonderful things that he's already done. Take this brochure, tell all your friends about, take a few of them extra so you're telling your friends, go on Facebook, share that story, get him some more likes so everyone's following what he's doing every day. And then, I did notice, most of you came by car today, right? Am I right? You got stuck in that 66 traffic. Jim is working hard on that with me. We are trying to get that with Jackson. Put one of these on the car. We want you to have this bumper sticker, because this bumper sticker these days is worth about $500. So if you want to give an extra $500 today, here's a really inexpensive way to do it. You go put this on your car as you're driving around, or when you stop, when you go to church, when you go to the local PTA, when you're at the doctor. People are going to say, oh, who is that? Do you know him? How do you know them? And then you can tell a story all over again and spread the word, because you will have a great impact. And that's how we win close elections like that, is by your circle of influence and by you telling that story over and over again. So I'm just so thrilled, we'll put this on, to be able to be here today, join my great colleagues, join one of our future colleagues. So we are going to have Delegate Nguyen, I always get it quite right, and I want to make sure we say Delegate Nguyen will be there, and will be the first Vietnamese delegate, right? And first Vietnamese Republican delegate. So we want to be the first to have a Vietnamese member of Mr. Jefferson's house. How exciting, how American, and it is just a privilege to be here, and go get him. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Congressman Comstock, for such wonderful words, and also to my esteemed future colleagues as well. And hopefully at this time, please, would very much like to visit with each one and visit with each other as well, to just share stories. And I ask at this time if anybody would like to share stories or any thoughts, please come up and do so at this time. I don't know, Dad, if you want to say anything at all.